FCTV. We are currently in the boardroom, a sight that's seldom seen by anybody who's not on the board. And luckily for me, joining me at this time is Bryn, who is Vice Chairman of Matlock Town, for those who don't know. Bryn, how do you feel pre-season's gone so far?
I think it's gone very well. I think Dave and Sean have signed on some really good players. The games that we've seen, certainly against the professional sides, they've held their own, they've done really well. And I think it's all building up nicely for Saturday.
We've seen a lot of people, to go back before Dave took the job, a lot of people, the members of the public who are fans, wanted him desperately to get it. What was it that made you and the other committee members give Dave the job?
I think, to be fair, Dave took over as caretaker. He was interviewed along with many talented other people. But at the same time, during our deliberations, Dave was amassing a very good win. He was amassing some really good results, and the further we went on, it was quite obvious that everybody enjoyed his football, the players enjoyed his football, the supporters certainly enjoyed his football, and it virtually became impossible for us not to appoint him.
We've seen the club make a lot of advancements off the pitch as well in the past few years. Do you feel the club's in the best place it's ever been in?
I believe we are. The social club stroke lounge, as it continues to grow, we're getting more and more bookings. The fan base is getting bigger. We're getting a lot of interest, i.e. the March of the Gladiators beer. We've also got other breweries who are interested in coming on board. Everything commercially is getting better. I do think that we do need to progress. Obviously, the social club stroke lounge is in need of a bit of refurbishment, and we'll invest in that. So yeah, off the pitch we are in a good position.
It's been quite a long pre-season, a lot of comings and goings. What's it like to be a committee member during all that?
It's very interesting. Starting with the appointment of Dave, all the interviews, everything else that goes off behind the scenes. To be part of it is absolutely fascinating. You don't know, but I'm also on the committee of the social club stroke lounge. We go from strength to strength. We meet every 2 weeks, whether it's management or social club or both. There's so much goes off behind the scenes, it's unbelievable.
Particular, as you mentioned, with the social club bookings, it's become quite a hub for the community, the Shorts Lounge. Is that something that you really took an interest in when you came in to work with the club?
Yeah, this is no secret. I'm hospitality manager on match day. I look after the sponsors, and the one thing I wanted to promote was Matlock in the community, Matlock Town in the community. So we have lots of irons in fires where we get involved. We have the facilities, we have the disabled facilities that we can provide for. We're in talks with the Matlock and Dales Camera for their festival next year. We've got all sorts of things that we're interested in. We have people who are interested in hiring the pitch for functions, i.e. concerts, etc., whatever that comes to. We're going down every commercial avenue that we can to make more money for the club and for the players and for the squad.
We've seen advancement as well in regards to the pitch maintenance, with Richard Lomas obviously picking up a few awards recently and Dave Reynolds working on the pitch. I've had a question that's put to me a lot is, do you think we'll ever get to a point where we'll be able to develop on that fourth side of the pitch? Obviously there's a cricket club there currently, or will we be looking to continue to develop on the 3 sides that we're currently using?
We are able to be promoted once as a 3-sided pitch, as a 3-sided ground. After that, then we would need to be 4-sided. So as we are at the minute, that isn't an issue. If we were to be promoted, then it's something that we would have to seriously look into.
We're in, obviously I can't pan the camera around, but we're sat amongst so much Matlock Town objects that are steeped in history. It's clearly a well thought of club. Do you feel it's a club that in the next 10 years that could really push on and maybe become one of Derbyshire's primary sports teams?
Certainly we would hope to be Derbyshire's primary semi-professional football team in Derbyshire. We have the facilities, we have the infrastructure. One thing that came out with the interviews that we was when we was interviewing for the manager's job, everybody thought very highly of us. We are everybody looks at us as a model non-league club. We don't have one particular person who is a benefactor. We work as a committee. We raise every penny we generate every penny that we spend, and that infrastructure is there to take us forward.
Matlock as well works. We've got a very strong band of volunteers. Can you talk about how crucial that is for the club?
It's absolutely essential. The amount of work that's done on a daily basis is phenomenal, and we would always be grateful for what these people do for us. All the way through the lads who do the maintenance, as you say, everybody on the ticket, the turnstiles, everybody's job to do, and each one person is integral to the performance of this club. We need every one of them.
Is there a message that you'd like to say fans who perhaps stopped coming to games last season because some of the results weren't what the club was hoping? What would you say to those fans in an effort to bring them back?
Well, what we did find was that even though results were not going our way, the fan base was still there. We still increased our attendance virtually week on week. What we would like to say is that we're in a far better position than last season. We've got what we think is a good manager, a very, very good manager, and a very, very good assistant who have got a football philosophy that they are passing down through the first team into the academy, and from the academy into the juniors. The setup here is absolutely fantastic, and it is well worth coming to watch.
To finish things off, well, obviously the camera won't have seen this, but prior to coming here, there was the new kits come sorted out. It's incredible to me for a club that a lot of people will say, well, it's only a small town community club, but there's so many moving parts. How much stress must it cause you and the other board members to keep everything moving as it should?
I'm absolutely certain that the management, the secretary, the chairman, the treasurer will say that they have all the stresses. Personally, I have all my stress at work. This is an absolute release for me, and I enjoy every single minute that I spend here. And I enjoy the match day, but I also enjoy all the things all behind the scenes. The sponsors, we are always indebted to the sponsors. We wouldn't be able to perform without them, and it's my job, and I like to see that they come to a game, watch a good game, have a good time, and particularly want to come back again next season.
To talk really briefly about Keith Brown, a man in particular who I think he's one to shun away from the spotlight, we should say. I've tried to get him on here before, but he wasn't quite accommodating to that request. But Keith is someone I know who's been working at the club for years. He has roles with the FA, he has roles with the league. How integral is Keith to this football club, in your opinion?
Keith is absolutely essential. As secretary of the club, CEO of the club, he's vice chairman of the Evo Stick League. He's been on the FA committee. He's kept us legal. He's kept us informed. He's worked for us behind the scenes, and he's worked for every non-league club, certainly in the Northern Premier League. He's one outstanding chap. He puts hours and hours and hours. I'm talking 70-80 hours a week just looking after our business. He is absolutely essential to us.
We've seen the youth academy progress recently, and I feel during my time here this is something the club's, it's obviously changed and it's evolved. It's something the club seems to be really behind, and I've asked this question to a lot of people. Do you feel Matlock, and I feel this personally, Matlock has one of the best academy and junior setups, especially at non-league level, and for perhaps lads who we've seen A level results and GCSE results recently, what would you say to lads, mothers and fathers who are watching this, who have perhaps wanted to enrol their sons in the club?
The role of the academy has got better and better, albeit only 3 years. I was very, very fortunate to be here on the night that it was inaugurated. There was mums and dads and lads in particular interested in what was happening, and the main thing that caught my eye was that education was equally, if not more important than the football. If you wasn't taking on the education side of it, the academic side of it, then you was more likely to fail than the football side of it. And parents walked out of this lounge in awe of what we were setting up. They knew then that their boys were not just coming to kick a football, they were coming to be educated to BTEC level, which if football failed, they would come out with a qualification that allowed them then to go on to university, albeit within sport, but there was university places to be had. It's absolutely fantastic setup. It's obvious now that we're invited. We're playing Premier or at least professional football teams in their academies. We're invited abroad. Justin Tellis cannot be accoladed any more than the fact that we are being invited all over the world. The Chinese experience must have been absolutely fantastic. We came away in third place with our heads held high. We beat Arsenal, we beat Melbourne, all these teams that have got far more backing than we have. The setup is absolutely superb, and of course that's part and parcel of the first team. If they come into the first team, which the lads have last season and the season before, absolutely superb. To see 3 academy lads on the pitch and 1 scoring in a game, absolutely superb. And it's a tremendous accolade to all the development squad behind the scenes that we are where we are today.
We've had a lot of new sponsors come in this past year or so. We've seen the community in general, in my opinion, want to get more involved with Matlock Town. What do you feel we offer sponsors as a football club?
The main thing that we find now is that sponsors are finding us rather than we're finding sponsors. Tom Wright, the chairman, does an absolutely tremendous job. Again, we couldn't run without him. The amount of sponsorship money he gets is phenomenal. But how we are a successful club, not necessarily on the pitch as such, but a successful club, means that sponsors want to sponsor us rather than having to go out there and find them. They are absolutely essential to us. We couldn't perform without them.
Right, to finish things off, as I'm sure you want to go get some snap. You're not the only one, I'm quite biased myself. But how do you feel Matlock are on the pitch this season? What's your thoughts about the side?
The thoughts are that the football they are playing is outstanding. The Northern Premier League this season is probably the hardest it's been for years. The depth of strength goes way beyond the top 4, 5 or 6. It's going to be a very, very difficult season. I think there's 3, maybe even 4 teams relegated. There's going to be some good sides relegated. I am quite confident that we are going to win more than we lose, but along the way we're going to play some excellent football, which, again, going back to Richard and Dave, the pitch that we play on is absolutely perfect for the football that we want to play.
Right, thank you very much, Bryn.